So AI has the power, please. AI has the power to transform hotel operations, which is a massive opportunity. But then again, we heard earlier in the panel, it's also a question of investment, right? And time and resources, etc. So maybe even though you want to do it as a hotelier, do you have the resources? Do you have the time? How to do that? And, well, we will have a duo on stage, and they will share best practice. They will talk about how a hotel can basically implement AI in a very beneficial way without tech overhauls that are very complex and costly. And it's my honor to welcome, while they're setting up everything on stage, Paul Dreigluft from the Classik Hotel Collection here in Germany. Welcome. Choose a seat that you feel most comfortable in. Yes? And while he's setting up, I already show you, this is the microphone you can use in a moment. Right? So, Paul, we start with you while Charlie's getting ready. You have a microphone, is it working? Wonderful.
I think it's working.
Tell us briefly about Hotel Classik collection.
Yeah, it's a private, small, individual brand.
Right.
And we are managing 4 hotels.
Right.
In 5 cities, all in Germany. In Cologne, Munich, Berlin, and Magdeburg. And yeah, I would say during the last years, we made a big change process, and we are now ready to move on with our partners. That's why I'm here together with Charlie today, and to represent also the Classik hotels. Yeah?
Wonderful. Well, if you're in Berlin, make sure to check the hotel out. I've been there. It's a very nice one, so I can only recommend.
Actually.
And then, my pleasure to introduce Charlie Osman from TripTease, CEO and founder. Stage is yours.
Thank you
for being here.
Great. Hi, everybody. Wow, it's quite booming when I speak. OK, so I was at a hotel event just a couple of months ago in America, and everyone on the stage was talking about AI. And I couldn't believe it. After 2 days, all I heard was just, oh, AI might do this, maybe AI can do that. And there were very few specific, practical things that hoteliers can do with AI today. So the goal of Paul and my talk today is to give you some really practical takeaways for things you can do with AI for your hotel immediately, and things that we think are going to be really powerful in 2025, which is all around AI agents. Okay, so hello, Paul. Paul runs Classik Hotels, beautiful hotels. We've already booked our whole team into Classik Hotels for next year's ITB. I recommend you do the same. Best rates when you book early, right? And I'm Charlie Osmond, the co-founder of TripTease. For the last 12 years, we help hotels drive direct bookings with marketing like meta search and paid search and personalization on the hotel websites. But this really isn't about us. This is about how you can supercharge your ability to use any of the tech that you might use at your hotel today in wonderful, glorious ways. So in 2024, everyone's talking about AI, and a lot of what was fun in AI was images, creating images of yourself looking like a hero, creating images of all sorts of things. And people created a lot of hotel images, which aren't particularly useful when you're selling a hotel, because obviously that's not actually what your hotel looks like. Another thing, though, that I think was a bit more fun with AI in 2024 was actually turning images into videos. I'm not sure if many of you experimented with this, but I took, without Paul knowing, a photo from his website and did exactly that. And this was because I went on Google Gemini, which is one of my favorite LLMs. If you haven't used it, you really should. And saw that, well, getting AI-generated photos is one thing, but if you can get AI-generated videos, you save more money, because the average videographer in Berlin costs more than the average photographer. So one of the things I did, literally this takes 2 minutes, is downloaded a photo from Paul's website, put it into runway.ai, and wrote down as a prompt, slow pan and movement into the room. And now let's see how this works. What it does is it turns that photo into a very short video. And that's just great, because it brings the room to life a bit more. Cost me absolutely nothing, took me less than 5 minutes. And it's a kind of fun that I think in 2024, everyone's getting excited about with AI. But in 2025, I guess we're starting to ask, can AI be bringing me bookings? Is that something that we can expect? And personally, I'm not sure about that just yet. I don't know if you've tried the ChatGPT operator new version they brought out a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if it's available in Germany yet. But this is where ChatGPT will now browse the web and carry out an operation for you. And so you can see how AIs are thinking about booking hotels and booking travel. So again, without Paul knowing, I went to Operator last week and I said, book me a room at Paul's hotel. The good news was that ChatGPT Operator, and this is the #1 AI platform on the web at the moment, the first thing it did, it went to Bing, and it searched for the hotel website. And it chose to click on the hotel direct website, which I was delighted, because I have to say I did expect that maybe they'd be starting off somewhere else. So it went to the hotel website, and it tried to click into the booking engine. It tried to find dates that I asked it to book, but I'm afraid, unfortunately, the booking engine, it couldn't work the booking engine, couldn't work out how to put dates in. And so after about 5 minutes of trying, it gave up and it went to booking.com. And then came back to me and said, would you like to book on booking.com? Here's the price. So I don't know if AI is going to deliver lots of bookings in 2025 yet for hotels. I think there's a little work to do in the booking engines, but I'm sure it's going to come soon. Now, I think the thing for 2025 that we're excited about, and you've heard about it already, there were a couple of talks before me, really is building AI agents. That's where the fun is going to be in 2025, and that's what we're going to show you that we did this week for Classik Hotels. So just to be clear, what is an AI agent? Particularly, what's the difference between automation and agents? I think is something worth separating out. So here's an example workflow, right? We want to track guests who are arriving in a hotel. We then want to check that guest. Have they stayed before at the hotel? What room category did they book? Did they upgrade last time? So we can try and see if we can learn something about their desire to upgrade from the PMS data. We also might want to check what's the behavior they exhibited when they're on the hotel website and booking engine. Did they go and look at the suites? Did they look at the more expensive category rooms and book a regular room? Did they show interest in an upgrade? And then we'd use that data to then feed into an AI that would make a decision. Is this someone who's got a high likelihood to upgrade? Is this someone I want to make an upgrade offer to? Okay, so that's an example, but the reason I give this example is because it's worth calling out the first bit of that is just automation, right? You know someone's arriving, you go and check their name, you check for what happened last time. And that's kind of automation, RPA tools that someone was talking about in the last talk. They've really been around for 10 years now. So automation's very much been present. You may not have used it or done it much, but there are a lot of really great tools to automate the workflows that you do many times. The bit that's new, the bit that's interesting and cool and fun, is that now we can couple automation with AI, with an AI agent making a decision what to do. So the AI gets to make a decision. Do I want to go and take this action, or do I want to go take that action on behalf of the user? And so that's the bit that's new, that's the bit that's fun, and it's going to completely, I say this, I hesitate before saying this because it sounds so extreme, but I believe that if you spend like a day or a week playing with AI agents this year, it will change your working life forever. And I really mean it when I say that. It is a complete change in the way that you want to do things. Okay. Automation versus AI, I think we've covered that. So, right, now back to hotels. Yeah. Paul, this is one of Paul's fabulous hotels. I say you've got to go book Classik. So I said to Paul, look, we have like 20 minutes on stage. Why don't we talk about AI agents last week? And he said, okay, I'll go and talk to the team about what automations we think would be helpful for the hotel. So I know there are a few you identified.
Yeah, we identified a couple of opportunities maybe where AI could help us. For example, the first one. Sometimes we overbook our standard category and we grade guests for free up because we have to grade them up as a limitation in the standard category. And we thought, okay, maybe AI could help us to identify the perfect guest, to give them the free upgrade, maybe to win them back as rebookers or direct bookers. Or for example, point 3, we were thinking about could AI help us to identify guests who maybe book 5 times through an OTA channel, maybe different channel, not always through booking.com, and then it could mark the person out, and then we could maybe get in contact with that guest to win him as a direct booker. On point 3 was the idea, we have so much data in our PMS. How can we upload that into Facebook and target the social media group directly through the content or the data we have through the PMS? And this should be an automatic process.
Yeah.
And maybe the number 5, that was in the days now we need direct bookers as the OTAs are getting stronger and stronger. So and we see on the PMS that we have so many guests booking through their company names, and it is really hard to identify them in a daily process. So we thought, Charlie, can you help us with an automation, with a tool that points them out, and we can contact them?
Yeah, exactly. So if you see someone arriving at the hotel who has a new corporate email address from a company that hasn't got a corporate deal, you might want to then go and flag that to the director of sales and say, hey, here's someone from IBM, they just checked in.
And maybe we have to mention we don't use a CMS yet, but it shouldn't be that such a big deal to find those guests with automation in the background.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So hopefully that gives you some ideas of the kind of things that you can be considering as a hotel. There are automations which just could replace the work that you're doing today, and there are automations that allow you to do something you just simply don't have time to do. The director of sales doesn't have time to watch every incoming guest to see if there's a new company I should be reaching out to. Okay, so we picked out one, and that's what we're going to go into, is how you could build this in 8 minutes, apparently. Okay, so number one. The goal is, you know it's like you're running a hotel, a group cancels. Suddenly, the middle of March is quiet, and you really, really want to book guests for those stay dates. So the problem is your marketing agency or marketing company like Triptease, we're generally just trying to spread the marketing spend. We're trying to get people across the whole year. In fact, if I'm honest, marketing agencies often want to spend spend on the days when they know you're going to be full, because to the marketing agency it looks better on those days. But the hotelier wants you to spend money when you're going to be empty. So this is something Triptease, we have in our platform the ability to say, okay, go spend more money on mid-March, and you can log in and choose the dates and spend more. But it's not very practical. We wanted to make it more immediate and more automated, and so that's the one we went for. So hopefully that makes good sense. So what does that need in practical terms? It's a set of steps. One, we need to understand the occupancy that Paul has in a hotel. We need to assess for the occupancy dates in the future, what does it look like? How confident are we that we're going to fill them? And then have an AI decision, which is, do we want to boost our marketing spend for the middle of April because it looks like it's going to be quiet? Now, we don't actually want the AI to make the decision. We're going to get the AI to send an email to the director of revenue who can then make the decision. Because we're not a revenue management system, and ChatGPT, as good as it is not a revenue management system. They're going to get one. It's not hit there yet, so that's why we're using this. So the director of revenue basically is like a human in the loop. So he's getting involved in the action. And then if the director of revenue says, yes, boost those dates, then it should automatically happen. You should log into the Triptease platform and boost those dates. So that's the flow we want to create. How are we going to do it? Well, there are many great tools out there for this kind of operation. N8N, Make.com, Gumloop, Crew.ai, a whole bunch of these amazing tools that you need to go out and try. Highly recommend you do, where you can basically build these automated flows, and you can include AI decision-making in the process. So I showed you the flow already, and basically here's the same flow but on Make.com. So a bunch of different steps. And what we're going to do in the next 5 minutes is just go through how we made these happen last week. So the first thing is we have to log into the PMS. So Paul's PMS is Guestline, and they're great PMS, loads of good new analytics capabilities they brought out recently. And I should say all the screenshots have got numbers wiped off for obvious reasons. But anyway, so the first thing is we need to log into the PMS and get the occupancy data for those future dates. So in the PMS, this is the main login screen. If you say, I want to look, say, 14 days in advance, each day is there, and then here you can see is the occupancy. So obviously, the AI's got a bit of a job to do to work out, do I think I'm still going to fill dates that are 2 days away? Do I think I'll fill the dates that are longer? But that's what we want to do, is log into the PMS and get that data. That's step number one. So for another great tool, and there are many different tools for this kind of capability, is Axiom.ai, which is what we used in this case to log into Guestline automatically and to get that data and then send it back to Make.com. Okay, so that's the first thing we did. I think we have, here's a little look at, I think there was is that a video? Yeah, this is the video. Okay, so this is how Axiom works. I don't see the mouse moving, maybe it's not a video. Okay, video will suddenly appear from behind. So just to explain how this works, and this looks and may feel complicated, but I want to reassure you that if you give yourself a day to play with these tools, you'll suddenly go, okay, this is really simple. So with Axiom, what we have to do is we go onto the Guestline PMS, and we look at what are the steps that I do as a human to log in and to find that screen and to refresh the dates. And the steps that I do as a human are, I think I need to go back one. Oh, okay, no video. Anyway, it's a very simple, this video, by the way, there will be a video of me doing this on YouTube on the Triptease channel. So if you want to follow through step by step, then you'll be able to do that after the end of next week, or the end of this week. But basically, I set up the steps a human would do. Log in to the PMS, press availability, get the dates, and then send those into a Google Sheet. Okay, make sense? So the dates have now gone into a Google Sheet, and it's on to step 2, which is where we hand over the data about the future occupancy for the next 90 days into ChatGPT. And for that, it's really simple. In make.com, you just go and create like a little ChatGPT widget and say, I want to log into ChatGPT, and then as you can see here, I basically send a message that I'm going to send to ChatGPT. So what's going to happen is it's going to watch Google Sheets. When the dates get sent in by Axiom, it then is going to send to ChatGPT, here are the dates, here's the occupancy. What shall I do? ChatGPT follows this analysis and then comes up with dates where we think you need to boost. That then gets passed through to Gmail and gets sent to the Director of Revenue Management. And the dates that it's suggested boosting were, for example, April and May. Paul told me earlier that...
Probably the revenue manager wouldn't agree for the first date, but for the second date, of course.
Great, so this is why you want a human in the loop. ChatGPT is not a revenue management system. It suggested Easter weekend. In fact, Paul says, no, we'll be full, thank you very much. So the Director of Revenue Management, basically, again, in make.com, we set up so that he gets sent an email. So there's like this email instance which says, hi, here are the dates that have been analyzed that need to be boosted. Do you want to boost them? Then the Director of Revenue Management gets that email, right? So this is sounding complicated, but all we've done is go into the PMS, check the future, have AI decide, do we think there's any dates that need to be boosted, extra marketing effort, and we sent the Director of Revenue an email. Here's the email. He gets to click on that if he wants to say yes, and then can fill in a form which goes, yes, boost those dates. So all the Director of Revenue Management has to do after we've set this up is get the email to say, yeah, I want to boost those dates or not. That then, again, goes back into make.com, where the last 3 steps are get the form, go online to Triptease website, and then, again, use Axiom.ai that I showed you earlier to boost those dates. So again, we set up a flow, which is the flow you need to log into Triptease, and hopefully I can show you that with a video. So here's the robot now. It's received the response. It knows it wants to log in. It's logged into the Classik Hotel section again. Sorry, the numbers look funny because I was blanking them out. Privacy, important here in Germany. And it logs in, and it's choosing for this hotel, for those dates, boost my meta spend, boost my paid search spend. I really want to boost the marketing effort for those dates. And it's done all of that without the hotelier having to go into either system. Right? The Director of Revenue did not need to go into the PMS and look at occupancy. They did not need to go into the Triptease tool and boost the dates. They just got an email and made a decision. So it makes it automated and very quick and easy, right?
Yes, very easy.
Okay, sorry, I went a bit fast because I saw this countdown going. Okay, so then that's finished. So it's done, it's boosted those dates. So those were the steps. Hopefully that kind of made sense. You were able to follow through. We got the occupancy information, and we got all the way down to I want to boost my marketing spend when I know I've got a quiet period at the hotel. In a minute we may have 30 seconds of questions. Any feedback on the process, Paul, about that? Is that kind of what you were expecting?
We are really excited to implement that.
Okay.
And want to differentiate the budget per day, and we will see what the results will bring in the future, really.
Great, and I know you're going to be upgrading and adding an RMS soon.
Yes.
And when you add the RMS, again, we can rebuild it, so the RMS will actually have a projected expectation of will we be full, and you can just use that projection to drive occupancy. So then you don't need the revenue manager. If you trust your RMS to get that right, then you can just say the RMS automatically does it. So again, the key here, right, is there are tools available that are, I think, mind-blowing compared to what we could do 3-4 years ago in your ability to go into the systems you use today and just turbo boost, supercharge their capabilities. At Triptease, we're making a series of videos about these kind of AI agents across all sorts of different hotel tech. One of the videos that's coming out this week will be an automation we built for Lotte in the US using TravelClick Demand 360, logging in. They have to, every week, they spend an hour building reports that they then put in Excel and just automating all of that. So again, you can do this with just about any system that has a web interface. And if you want to see that and this, then please go check out the Triptease YouTube channel. But the conclusion is, automations are straightforward and they've been around for a long time. The ability to add AI decision-making into steps of these flows is really effective, and it is available right now. And it's something which, if you have not played with it, I highly recommend it. Because just investing an hour, like a day, you can instantly really understand how these tools work. And if you give yourself a week, if you go, you know what, this is worth me understanding. This is the most impactful stuff I think most of us are going to get out of AI for the next 3-4 years. No longer calling up your hotel tech vendor and saying, can you put this on your roadmap? You can just build things that augment the tools you've already got. Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right.
I don't know if we have time for questions, but...
Yeah, thank you so much. What do we do now? Okay,
I think it was a question.
Warm applause, please.
Yeah.
But let's give 2 minutes.
Okay.
Have a few, like at least 2 questions, right? I'd say. And then we continue, and I make sure you get your time as well. We manage.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a question.
Wait, that was one.
A question, please. Yes. Do we have a microphone? Can you please tell us who you are and your question? That's great. And get up so we can see you, please.
Jeez.
Thank you.
My name's Brant. I'm from a university, and I'm visiting ITB. We play a lot with AI in university right now, and I think the next generation is going to be heavily influenced. So your future customers will all be AI people. A simple workflow that you just built and explained for us, how often does it fail? And what kind of checks and balances do you have to avert that failure?
That is a great question. This talk was definitely not seen by my engineers at Triptease before I gave it. All my engineers would be like, want to strangle me if they saw me speak about this, because these are brittle capabilities, right? There will be use cases, there will be edge cases that mean that they break. But compared to, I want to build something that your a supplier might have on their roadmap in 2 years from now, it's a way to get going. So there are really good things you can do. Sorry, specifically to answer it, there was an underlying question and then there was a question. Specifically, actually, one of the things I've seen done a lot more in the last month or two is you build AI agents to watch the AI agents. So when you build a flow, in fact, the more sophisticated, this was a relatively simple flow. More sophisticated flow is you have an agent that is managing the process, that is watching for exceptions, breakages, issues, and alerting you if they ever happen. And then you have other agents who are working within it. So that's like one of the main ways I've seen people manage. But thanks, great question.
All right. Then do we have a question for Paul, as we have him on stage? If not, I'd say we continue. Thank you so much for being here, Charlie Osman from Triptease, Paul Dreikluft from Classik Hotel Collection.